And hello everyone, and welcome into another edition of Matt's Sports Talk. And in this video, I will be showing you my official 2025 or 2024/2025 basketball season NAIA National Championship Battle for the Red Banner bracket. And I filled this out this morning. Now, I did get a good amount of positive feedback of my videos that I recorded a few days ago, previewing or predicting rather this upcoming national tournament, and after reading some of that feedback, I wanted to record this video and showing you my official predictions for the national tournament. And of course, I mentioned this in my video the other day, but I wanted to show you on this bracket that I printed out this morning, showing all of my picks, and so I can not only keep track of that throughout the tournament, but I can also keep track of this after each individual round, seeing what my percentage is and how many I've gotten right and or wrong. So it should be really interesting to follow that. So we're going to start over here with the Naismith quadrant, and I'm going to zoom in real close and show you my official picks for the first round. You can see I have Dort over Indian Haskell College out of Kansas. Then I forgot actually to circle 8 seed St. Francis out of Illinois, but that's who I have advancing to the second round. Langston over 13 seed Blue Mountain Christian, then Dakota Wesleyan over the Masters, Marion over St. Xavier out of Illinois, Oregon Tech over Milligan, Cumberland's over Eastern Oregon, and this matchup here, the 7 and the 10, Shawnee State and Loyola out of Louisiana. I do have Loyola in the first round upsetting Shawnee State and facing Cumberland's in the second round. Then we get down to this side of the bracket. This, I believe, is the Kramer quadrant. And you can see here that I have Bethel of Tennessee over Sterling, and then I have LSU Alexandria and a mild upset over Benedictine, and then Hastings defeating College of the Ozarks, and LSU Shreveport defeating Huntington. Now, I mentioned the other day between LSU Shreveport and Huntington, I think this is going to be a super close game. It could go either way. I mentioned Shreveport's only lost 3 games all year, and then for Huntington, they have a really talented roster of mainly sophomores, Bailey Kellum, who's a 3-point sharpshooter, as well as Kendall Yoakum, also a sophomore guard/forward that is doing really well from beyond the arc, as well as Annika Nelson, who is a sophomore forward, and Liv Raby, a sophomore center, who has played phenomenal this year for head coach Darby Maggard, has done a fantastic job down low in the paint, especially as toward the end of the regular season wrapped up, and she continued to really be impressive in that opening round game against Spring Arbor in the Crossroads League Tournament quarterfinals, albeit, of course, them losing that matchup by 8 points to Spring Arbor and all. So I apologize for I was standing up, and then I needed to kneel on my knees to go over the rest of the bracket. So again, the LSU Shreveport Huntington game Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, that could be a really interesting game. And then, of course, down from there, I have William Carey defeating Lindsey Wilson out of Kentucky, even though this could be another interesting matchup. Then Xavier of Louisiana beating Southeastern, Southern Oregon 31-0. And then Wayland Baptist beating Carroll in the opening round. And this is all your second round matchups, Dort and Dakota Wesleyan. Now, I do have your second round matchups, I should say. You can see there all of my selections of the matchups, and then the teams that I think will advance to the Sweet 16. You can see there Dort defeating St. Francis of Illinois, going to the Sweet 16. Dakota Wesleyan, I have defeating Langston. Marion, I have beating Oregon Tech. Cumberland's beating Loyola, and then Bethel of Tennessee beating LSU Alexandria, and LSU Shreveport beating Hastings. William Carey beating Xavier out of Louisiana, and Southern Oregon defeating Wayland Baptist to head to the Sweet 16. Then in the Elite 8, Dort defeating Dakota Wesleyan, Cumberland's beating Marion, Bethel of Tennessee, and Southern Oregon matching up in the Elite Eight. And then those two teams, Dordt beats Cumberland to go to the Final Four, and Southern Oregon defeats Bethel of Tennessee to also advance into the Final Four. So then on the other side of the bracket, I'll zoom in a little bit and try and hopefully my camera will cooperate and not be super blurry. But you can see Campbellsville I have winning the opening round matchup, as well as Williams Baptist. And then I have Dakota State winning that opening round matchup. And then I have Governor State with the opening round win, Briarcliff over Spring Arbor. And then Columbia out of Missouri. And Columbia out of Missouri I have beating Lewis Clark State. So that is my upset pick, at least on this side of the bracket, with Columbia. Then I have, in the next matchup, I have Mid-America Nazarene easily winning their opening round matchup. And then another mild upset with Northwestern out of Iowa, defeating Mid-America Christian out of Oklahoma. I have Northwestern and Mid-America Nazarene matching up in the second round. Then on this side of the bracket, I have IWU defeating Philander Smith, and then Olivet Nazarene defeating Grandview, Georgetown beating Jamestown, and then Providence I have winning their opening matchup against College of Idaho. St. Francis I have defeating Indiana Tech, and then Rio Grande defeating Stillman out of Alabama, Freed Hardman winning, and Florida Memorial beating IU Northwest. Then you can see in my second round matchups, Campbellsville, Williams Baptist, Dakota State, Governor State, Briarcliff, Columbia, Mid-America Nazarene, Northwestern, IWU, Olivet Nazarene, Georgetown versus Providence, St. Francis, and Rio Grande, and Freed Hardman and against Florida Memorial. And then you can see my Sweet 16 matchup. I have Campbellsville beating Williams Baptist. I have Governor State going to the Sweet 16, upsetting Dakota State in the second round. Briarcliff beating Columbia in the second round. And Mid-America Nazarene defeating Northwestern College out of Orange City, Iowa. And Mid-America Nazarene out of Kansas, the Heart of America Athletic Conference, heading to the Sweet 16. And then that is the Dewar quadrant, all these teams up here. And then these teams down here on the bottom are the Liston quadrant teams. I have IWU defeating Olivet Nazarene, advancing to the Sweet 16. I have Georgetown beating Providence, and I have Rio with the upset win over St. Francis in the second round, and Freed Hardman defeats Florida Memorial to advance to the Sweet 16. So there's all your Sweet 16 matchups. Then I have Campbellsville defeating Governor State, Briarcliff defeating Mid-America Nazarene, advancing. So those teams in the Elite Eight, Campbellsville and Briarcliff. Then down here, I have IWU beating Georgetown in the Sweet 16. IWU goes to the Elite Eight. And then I have Freed Hardman defeating Rio Grande, and Freed Hardman goes to the Elite Eight. So on this side of the bracket, Campbellsville, Briarcliff, IWU, Freed Hardman advance to the Elite Eight. Then which team goes to the Final Four? I have Briarcliff beating Campbellsville and IWU defeating Freed Hardman. Then on the other side of the bracket, Dordt and Southern Oregon in the Final Four. I have Dordt winning that game over Southern Oregon. Dordt advances to a national championship game. And then between Briarcliff and IWU, I have IWU advancing to the title game to play Dordt. And I know you can't see it. I think you can see it. What I have written down right above the champion, I have IWU written down, so I have IWU winning it all. So that's my official bracket for the NAIA National Championship. And again, I'll be recording a video hopefully on Saturday morning recapping all of the men's and the women's opening round matchups, or the first round matchups, I should say. I'll be doing that hopefully Saturday morning. And now I'm not going to be here at my normal recording location on Saturday morning, so hopefully I will still be able to upload the first round recap video on Saturday morning, and then the second round matchups I will record that hopefully on Monday. And then of course so I'll be doing that, and as well as updating my bracket, especially on the women's side. I'll make sure that I do that. Now that might have to be an extra video. I'm not totally sure yet, between recapping the second round women's matchups out of the Crossroads League schools, but also updating my bracket for the on the women's side. So again, all that will be coming your way this weekend. First round recaps hopefully Saturday morning, second round recaps hopefully on Monday, and then also I'll be briefly updating my bracket after the first round matchups Saturday morning. I definitely plan on doing that, and then of course also updating my bracket on Monday after all the second round action is over. And then of course what I'll do is I don't know if I'm going to be able to update the bracket after each individual round, because if Indiana Wesleyan advances out to Sioux City, Iowa, I plan on being out there late next week, so I probably will not be able to record any videos updating my bracket. I'll try to, but obviously it depends on a really strong internet connection that I may or may not have. So I hope to be able to do that if IWU advances and I'm out in Sioux City, which actually would be the very first time ever that I've been out there. I wanted to go ever since the 2020/21 season. This year I'm going to be able to do that as long as IWU advances, so that's obviously really exciting. But again, I'll try my best. If IWU advances, I will try my best to update my bracket and my picks while I am out there. So again, stay tuned for that. And I mentioned a few minutes ago about my plans for this weekend, recapping the first and second round games, just Crossroads League schools only in terms of my recap. We're talking about what players did, the shooting stats, that sort of thing, but also maybe adding in an extra video updating you on my bracket, so make sure that you stay tuned for all of that. And if you did enjoy this video, please either like, comment, or subscribe. Any feedback that you provide me is greatly appreciated. And again, thanks so much for watching this video, and have a great rest of your week, and so excited for the opening round matchups coming your way this weekend. God bless.